Welcome to the video series of the data science. In this video, we will see three different distributions, that is the chi-square, students t distribution and the f distribution. So let's see that. So there are many theoretical distributions, that is the both continuous and the discrete one. But we use this four of this a lot, that is the z distribution, t distribution, chi-square and the f distribution. So this t and z distribution are closely related to the sampling distribution of means, and the chi-square and f are closely related to the sampling distribution of the variances. So let's see the first one, that is the chi-square distribution. So in this chi-square distribution, what you have to remember, the main key points, that in the chi-square distribution, this distribution is comparing two different values, that is the theoretical value, or we can say the expected value, and the observed values. Now where these observed values came from? This observed value comes from the practical implementation, that is from the direct observations. It means the observed values, and the theoretical or the expected values are developed on the basis of some hypothesis. It means on the basis of some theory concept, the theorem types. So scientists are comparing more oftenly these two values, that is the observed and the expected. So they are trying to find out the goodness of fit between these two values. So this is the formula that you can do the test statistics for comparing the observed and the expected frequency in the chi-square. So that is the summation of observed minus expected the whole square divided by expected. So we are writing this O as the observed value, E as the expected value, and we are taking this K as the number of categories, groupings or possible outcomes. So this is the formula for the chi-square distribution. So you can write the chi-square formula like this also, that is the chi-square is the distribution of a sum of squares. So each squared deviation is taken from the unit normal. So when they are talking about the normal distribution, then the normal distribution looks like this one. This is how I can say it as the normal distribution, like this. So this normal distribution is a bell-shaped distribution. So this normal distribution is such a way that you have the value of mean, median and mode, everything at the center. So this normal distribution is also called as the symmetric distribution that we have previously seen in the concept of the skewness and the kurtosis. So when this word is used, that is the normal distribution, it means the symmetric normal distribution which whose curve is like this. So let me draw in a proper way. The normal distribution is like this one. This is my normal distribution, that is the symmetrical one. So what is x over here? It is the independent variable. The mu is the mean over here, and the sigma stands for the variance. Now the critical values for the chi-square distribution. So the use of this chi-square distribution in the hypothesis testing is analogous to use the t and the f distribution. So the null hypothesis is stated like this, that is a test statistic is computed. The observed value of the test statistic is compared to the critical value, and a decision is made whether or not to reject the null hypothesis. So this is the graph, that is the PDF, that is the probability density function of the chi-square distribution for the different values of k. That is for k equals to 2, for k equals to 5, and for k equals to 10, the line is shown as the dotted line. For k equals to 5, the line is the dashed line, and for k equals to 2, it is the smooth line. You can see over here that as the value of k increases, the shape of this particular chi-square distribution, it becomes similar to the normal distribution. So you can see this dotted line, so it is very near to the shape of the normal distribution. This is the CDF, that is the cumulative distribution of the chi-square distribution with k degrees of freedom. So you can remember this particular graph, that is the CDF for the chi-square distribution, because this graph looks like a leaf. So you can easily remember the shape of a leaf. Now these are the characteristics of the chi-square distribution, that it is not symmetric. So symmetric means it is same on both the sides, but you can see over here that for value k equals to 2, it is not symmetric. The second characteristic, that the shape of the chi-square distribution depends upon the degrees of freedom, just like the student's t distribution. So the degrees of freedom depends on the value of k, that is the different values of k. As the value of k changes, the shape of the chi-square distribution changes. So it is depending on the degrees of freedom. Also, you can see that as the number of degrees of freedom increases, the chi-square distribution becomes more symmetric, that we have already seen, that I have already told just now. The values are non-negative, that is the values are all greater than or equals to 0. Also, a goodness of fit test is an inferential procedure used to determine whether a frequency distribution follows a claimed distribution or not. So over here, when to reject or when to accept the values in the chi-square distribution. So it is given like this, that is the for high p-value, it means the high probability than this test statistics. So if this test statistics is greater than the observed test statistics, then we should not reject the null hypothesis. For the low p-value, if the value of the test statistics is greater than the observed test statistics, then reject the null hypothesis. Now the strength and the limitations of the chi-square distribution. So the strength is like this, that is it is easier to compute than some of the statistics, and the chi-square distribution makes no assumption about the distribution of the population. The limitation is this, that it does not give us the much information. Also, the chi-square test is sensitive to the sample size, and it is also sensitive to the small expected frequencies. Now let's see the next distribution, that is the students t distribution. Now this is the graph of the students t distribution. Now you must have one question, that this graph is very similar to the normal distribution. So what is the normal distribution graph? That I have already told in this video. So what is the difference between the normal distribution and the students t distribution? So over here you can see that in the students t distribution, it has the fatter tails. Fatter tails means this portion which contains, that is the tail of this particular graph, is comparatively larger than the normal distribution. So this is what is the basic difference between the students t distribution and the normal distribution. So the t distribution, also known as the students t distribution, is a type of the probability distribution that is similar to the normal distribution with its bell shape, but it has the heavier tails on both the sides. So it is called as the t distribution. So you have to write the definition like this only. So it contains this keyword, that is the similar to the normal distribution, but it has the heavier tails. So this is how you can remember the definition, and it will become easy for you in exams. So these are the key points for the students t distribution, that the t distribution is a continuous probability distribution of the z-score when the estimated standard deviation is used in the denominator rather than the true standard deviation. So also you can write that the t distribution is like the normal distribution, which is the bell shaped and symmetric, but it has heavier tails. Also, the t-tests are used in statistics to estimate the significance. So over here, the tail heaviness is determined by a parameter of the t distribution, which is called as the degrees of freedom. So how should be the area which covers the tail portion of the distribution? So that is determined by the degrees of freedom, with the smaller values giving the higher tails, and with the larger values making the tail distribution resemble a normal distribution. So over here, with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1, the t distribution is also known as the student's t distribution. So unfortunately, there is not one t distribution. There are different t distributions for the different value of n. Just for an example, for value of n equals to 7, there is a certain t distribution. For value of n equals to 13, also the t distribution is a little different. So we say that the variable t has a t distribution with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. So we can write the formula of the student's t distribution like this, that is the x mean minus mu 0 divided by s divided by under root of n, that is the standard deviation and the degree of freedom. Now these are the properties of the student t distribution. So whatever you know about the student t distribution, that becomes your properties of the student t distribution. So the student t distribution is different for the different degrees of freedom that we have already seen. The t distribution is centered at 0 and it is symmetric about 0. Now let's see this. Now this is my graph of the student's t distribution. So always the middle point will be your 0. So this is the positive part, that is the right hand side of the 0, and this is the negative part, that is the left hand side of the 0. So this is the middle part, that is the middle point will be always at the 0. So if we consider the area covered by the total graph as 1, then what is this? This will be the half portion, and this will be the second half portion, like this. So this is how the student t distribution is. Also remember that this student t distribution is very similar to the normal distribution because it is symmetric on both the sides, that is half on this side and half on this side. So for the symmetric distribution, where your mean, median and mode lies, it always lies at this particular point. So what will be your mean, median and mode value? It will be 0, like this. So we can say that the t distribution is centered at 0 and it is symmetric about 0. Also the area to the left of the 0 is half and area to the right of the 0 is again half. So these 2 points we have already seen. So as the magnitude of the t increases, the graph approaches but never tends to 0. Also, the area in the tails of the t distribution is larger than the area in the tails of normal distribution. This point is also we have covered. Also, the shape of the t distribution is dependent on the sample size. As the sample size n increases, the distribution becomes approximately normal. So when the value of n increases, the graph, the curve of the student t distribution will become exactly like the normal distribution because its tail portion will get decrease. So it will look similar to the normal distribution as the value of n increases. Also the standard deviation is greater than 1. So over here, the mean, median and mode of the t distribution are equals to 0. Why it is equals to 0? That I have told that for the symmetrical distribution, the mean, median and mode lies at the middle point. So this concept we have seen in the during the concept of skewness and the kurtosis in the unit number 2. And also the area in the tails of the t distribution is little greater than the area in the tails of the standard normal distribution. So this is what the main difference between normal and the t distribution is. So there is a few limitations of the student t distribution, that the t distribution can skew exactness relative to the normal distribution. So its shortcoming only arises when there is a need for perfect normality. So however, the difference between the normal and the t distribution is very small. Now let's see the f distribution. So the f distribution is used by the researcher in order to carry out the test for the equality of two population variances. So the f distribution is used in analysis of variance, that is the ANOVA, which also plays an important role in the diagnostics of overall fitness of a multiple linear regression model. So this particular F distribution comes from the short form of the Fisher's distribution, which is a ratio of the two chi-square distributions. So the random variable X can be defined like this, that is y1, k1, y2 and k2. These all are in the division, which is called as the F distribution also. This is the probability density function of the F distribution, that is the curves for the different values of k, and this one is the CDF of the F distribution for the different values of k. You can remember this graph because this graph you can remember with a trick that it has the shape like the roads on the highway. So these are the properties of the F distribution, as we have seen the properties of the student's T distribution, that the F distribution is non-symmetrical and the shape of the distribution depends on the values of k1 and k2, because as the value of k1 and k2 changes, the shape of the F distribution changes. Also, the F distribution is used in the ANOVA for the multiple groups, and F curve is only defined for the value of x greater than or equals to 0. Also, an F curve has the value 0 at x equals to 0. The value of F curve is positive for x greater than 0. So like this, as the value of x changes, the F curve differs for each value. Also, the F curve is right skewed. So you can see from the graph of the PDF that it is right skewed because it has the long tail towards right hand side like this. So it is called as the right skewed. So from this video lecture, you can answer such questions, that is the characteristics of the chi-square distribution, what is students T distribution, list its properties, and write a short note on F distribution. So thank you for watching.